first one on board, how do we make sure that we actually get out safe again, and that's all secure. So if you do something for the first time in an organization, and you need to make sure that the experience is quite good. So I'm with the EE for 3 years now. They launched 4 or 5 years ago, when the first one was 4G. I just remember back my old friends and colleagues, all my colleagues said, oh, I'm on EE, 4G's not working. But nobody else had it, didn't really count. So if you need to do something for the first time in our industry, and from a QA perspective, I think you need to make it safe. Or in QA words, yeah, no bugs.
Yeah. Well, I would never agree to go to Birmingham.
Paul just when he works for the Midlands folks.
Yeah, that's too far. So probably I would just break it into, slices. Just take one at a time.
Watford Gap Services, we'll just stop there for a bit.
See how it goes. Which is, you might find 2 or 3 birds or, coming out to you, and just it's good to know how the car would recognize the colors, things like that, etc. Lots of things going on. So what I feel is like we will definitely get there. That will happen. I mean, there would be self-driving cars, and there's a good side of it to it as well. But yeah, definitely not straight away to Birmingham, yes, of course.
But it does raise an interesting question in terms of what it means for the QA folks. Is that now what we're doing is we're becoming more and more reliant on technology. Is that devices, you can all remember back when we didn't have a mobile phone, and you're there waiting on the at the bus stop or the corner for that person, and they didn't turn up. What did you do? Well, you waited 10 more minutes. Nowadays, of course, people are 30 seconds late. We're all sort of exercising our thumbs, and maybe even while we're walking past building sites and slowing down middle-aged men who get angry quickly. But the way that technology has moved into our lives is that the job that we're doing is becoming more and more noticeable. And so do you see that there is, although we spoke a lot about the way that testing is changing, do you think that maybe the entire QA experience is becoming more relevant?
I mean, that's a very good point there. And also, from Virgin's perspective, we have taken a step forward. We're almost doing something. If people are using public Wi-Fi, we have initiated big data and data analytics, which I discussed in the workshop yesterday, where we do pattern analysis. We know where you are in Heathrow. We know what you're doing. If you're spending more time in Boots or in MMS, we got to that layer now, but that's the technical aspects of it. We have data. What we don't actually have is a cleansed data, and that's where I think QAs should actually focus more around data quality, and intelligence comes after you have good quality data. That's where we are at the moment. And how much can it be automated? And I actually see quite a lot of people get confused between automation and intelligence, artificial intelligence. They are 2 different things. We are way forward in terms of automation, but now we need to start thinking about intelligence, artificial intelligence. How can you get those automation? And that's something that we are thinking now. How can we get our automation framework, start thinking about data quality? So we simulate user loads from a Wi-Fi perspective, and we check if the quality is captured operationally as well, and see how much analytics representing in terms of business value. So we do a lot around that work it's quite early, I would say, from the test aspects of involvement within AI. It's more into an experimental mode, as you call it, agile. We do a lot of experiments, that's where we are at the moment. But I think it's the right time for quality assurance organization or testing to start thinking about how can we get there. And it just depends upon the type of product and the level of AI that your organization specifically can bring into.
Well, Niranjali, I guess your company as well. I mean, with the financial research, are you dealing with big data as well?
Yeah, well, in terms of our organization, I think we are far behind in that aspect. We are still trying to, as Deepak said, we are in a journey of cleansing our data, because data is the future. It has a big part to play. So it's a matter of getting the right data set and
honest as well. Large companies, you know, EE, Societe Generale, you once again have huge sets of data. You know, we've got, you know, various people roaming around with their phones. You've got masses of data over the years from transactions. What sort of an impact do you think that the way that we're handling data is going to have on your businesses?
There are a few ways we try to experiment, you know, the way we want to use this data. Mainly when we talk about production support, the people who are, you know, working with business people, answering questions, and have a lot of data in terms of analysis and investigation. Have a lot of data to work on. So we try to create new ways of exploring all the set of data we are having, kind of machine learning, and to educate these tools to make them answer in the place of the production support people. So I said that there are tentatives, but because they are still not working fine, but there are really few good prototypes working already in the right way. And the same application I had the experience, had the chance to work on for testing. Was to, you know, when we are working on testing, we can automate everything, and there's only one thing we cannot automate is the analysis. When you have a bug, when you have a defect, you can never make your automaton decide if it is a real bug or not. So the analysis part is key for us, and we wanted to put it also as part of the automation. So we created like a chatbot, which is able, in fact, to interact with the user and take the command, take the requests in order to investigate, you know, inside the logs, inside the application data, etc., and to answer to the question, is it a bug or not? By excluding things that a human being will decide to not do. So this chatbot is working today. It means that we are also increasing his knowledge. He's more and more able to ask quickly to the question. At the beginning it took like half an hour to investigate and to find things. And today it's able to find very quickly the answer in a few minutes to say it's really wrong.
Interesting. And in terms of mobile network,
one who saw me this morning, no, I'm not on the IT side, I'm part of marketing.
Yep.
But even we deal with big data and the analytics of big data, because we have 30 million customers, a few more, who go to our websites, our apps, and so on. We need to know what device they're using, what Deepak said. We need to know what device they're using, what they're looking for. We have actually analytic built in our sales process. We have recommendations. If you're on a Samsung phone and you're up for an upgrade, if you go there, they will not show you the newest iPhone, they will show you probably the S9 now. So it's really, we try to analyze what our customers want, and this is from a retail perspective really important. If you know what your customer wants, and if you give them that selection, pre-selected, it's all about just the NPS scores and everything. This makes them more happy, because if I'm a hardcore Samsung fan, which I'm not, I don't want to see the newest Huawei or iPhone. I want to see what my favorite brand has, and with this kind of analytics, the data we on the marketing side, on the digital side are dealing with. So, but going back to your first questions about AI and what is coming there, I'm probably the old guy here, and for me, and it's a little bit what you said about the analysis, the analytics afterwards. You build a chatbot, but in our testing practice, what I see is the only thing you cannot replace with a tool right now, at least not for any money I have to spend, is a pair of eyes and a brain who can actually see. I thought I would not swear here on the stage today, but I always say, if somebody is, especially on the UI side of things, I haven't found a machine who tells me it looks shit. So
Well, I guess that's a really relevant point as well, is that there's certainly a lot in testing, things like that user experience. Can we possibly automate that? Is there a site or a chatbot or there's some sort of code that one of the tool vendors might come up with that might actually say, look, here is a way that we can not only measure from an automated perspective that user experience, but here's a way that we can also test that user experience. I mean, is it in the foreseeable future? Could we see tools moving that way? Could we even go so far as to say that AI itself replaces testers?
So I recently looked at it, and I think it's on a good way. Right now, we can automate the user journeys. Whatever we want to do, we can automate that if it makes sense. We get a lot of output there, but for now, at least, for a reasonable amount of money to spend, it always needs it's a hybrid. I think I saw presentations today where they talked about hybrid solutions, and I think that is what the stage we're in right now. If you ask me in a couple of years, I'm pretty sure I'll say something different because I think this is coming.
Yeah, I think so too. Because it's not like you cannot automate the user experience, you can. But however, humans are creatures, we change all the time, we need new things all the time, and what's going to happen is going to be challenging. But it's not something we cannot do, we can do it, but it's going to be challenging.
Yeah, I mean, we had a similar discussion, but where I am, I'm very optimistic, right? So we had a similar discussion maybe a year before, talking DevOps. Now we have DevOps or automation into the next level. We're getting there. AI doesn't replace tester, to answer your question. Honestly, it can't. At some point, can it replace human in every aspect? That's the question. More like tester. It's like testers have sentiments, and big companies are investing a lot in cognitive learning, in sentiment analysis, pattern analysis, etc. But I still think there is an element of teaching the tool. But I think it's not going to be testing the tool. Maybe the tester have to be like, teach the tool what it needs to do. The main challenge, what we all have, is data, right? So what does it need to know first? Automating is fairly simple. You could just say, this is what you need to do, just go and do it, it will just do it. But if I get something, do I have enough data to understand sentimentally, this is not a good user experience? That will take some time, but in the recent Google's I.O., if you see the interaction that the Google's, the AI has with ordering a booking table, it talks to someone who doesn't know English, but very well understands their sentiment. I think we are getting there. Maybe a year or two, as we said, we'll definitely be there. How it relates into testing, an interesting part, like touching back with what Shasha said, is within Virgin Media, we partially automated within the customer support unit. We have partially automated using AI. We call it automated call routing. So based on what the customer is calling in terms of support, I think some companies have got it already. It's like based on the type of issue, it knows who the individual can fix it quickly because it has the data to understand this individual has 150 such resolutions done in 15 minutes, so he can do it in 15 minutes rather than calling up a customer service and waiting for 5 hops, which is now we're solving customer service experience. Is it something that can be brought into testing? We need to start thinking, right? So can you get your product team to feed in those product requirements, and based on those requirements, can you do test skills map? Can you do technology mapping skills? Can you teach the tool to understand if this is the type of testing? I have a performance tester who will be doing this in half a day compared to someone else spending 5 days. We can think about it. What you really need is more test coverage, more efficiency, and you just need to protect quality no matter what.
I guess the final question, just sort of considering what the time is, what I'd like to do is, the panel's here and available. Do any of you have any questions or thoughts about the future of testing? Are we all going to be replaced by C3POs and R2D2s? Well, surely the Death Star must have had a testing department. Why would they put that port, the thermal port below the main port? Surely someone must have tested that. See, I've got one nerd here. Maybe 2, 1.5. No thoughts?
In the new world, are you saying that the role of testing as a function will change and it will become more of a technology and technology-enabled rather than pure function of its own? Is this where we are moving ahead?
I think in my view, I mean, I'll pass on to my colleagues as well, but in my view, it's already changed. You're not just clicking buttons anymore, I believe. If you are still clicking buttons, we have to change. You're going to continuously change. And do we call it testing as a function should always sustain, right? No matter what we do, testing will be there. You will need to do testing. You can teach a tool to do that, or you get a human to do it, but we're already changing. We should, again, it's going to a point where you need to understand the system end to end and do more root cause analysis. What I see today, the challenge is, like, if something doesn't work, do we understand why? I think we're getting to that point now. We need to understand why and feedback to your development team or a build team saying, I think this is the root cause, can you just fix it? Rather than the button isn't working, do whatever you need to do.
Based on my experience, what I've seen is, even in today's world, in this new technology era, the role of domain knowledge is still very important and has a huge role to play. Technology alone cannot solve all the testing problems. That's where I'm coming from. Will that continue to exist, or do you foresee this ceasing?
I see it exist always. As long as IT service management exists, we are selling IT to the business, testing has to be there. I mean, it might have various forms, it will have various supports from tools and machines and AIs, but testing as a functionality, I still see it's not gonna, it's my view, honestly, different people have different view. Testing is mandatory. If not, what you're selling to your customers, what gives you confidence that it's going to function? You need to have some sort of testing. And I strongly believe that will just stay forever, but it will evolve a lot more, where you will be doing more exploratory testing and more focusing on root cause analysis than just spending in functional testing. I think that will transform a lot. And you could give the boring stuff to the tools and do more intelligent stuff.
If I can add something, I think the question is rightly asked, and we can, if we are acting today as a test analyst, for example, having knowledge about the domain of your company, I think it's something that will never disappear from the testing area. Having this kind of knowledge is kind of something very important, and sometimes it's very rare to have the right guy understanding all the rules of the systems, and often we find these kind of guys working in the test area because they have been there for a long time and they understand more than the business analyst sometimes the way the application should work. So for me, you will maybe not do your job like you are doing it today, but for sure you will use your skills of domain knowledge to do, for example, requirement refinement or working with the product owner, to help him to decide about the right way to choose the product, because you can say the product owner have to decide about everything, but if he doesn't have in front of him people who understand and knows the system, he will never be advised in the right way. So yeah, for sure, domain knowledge is key, at least from my point of view.
Can I ask you a question? How long are you in testing?
11 years.
Are you still doing the same thing that you did on your first day? So that's the point I was trying to make. We're changing all the time, and we will continue changing all the time. We not like my title this morning. We're not reinventing QA. We're just evolving, and that's the key thing. And I believe as long as humans writing code, we need humans who test this.
Or not.
Or not in some cases.
So I guess in summary, we're all going to be replaced by AI, but who the hell's going to test it? I'd like to thank the panel this afternoon for their views on the discussion that we've had. I'd also like to thank all of you, seeing it was the last session, that you're the stayers. We know that you'll be the people who will be there at 10:30 at night still testing, because you care about the quality. thank you very much. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and I guess we'll see you next year.